My roommate borrowed my car to pick up her ex from the airport and now it's impounded. The poster is 24, roommate is 25 and female. Okay, he writes, I need advice because I genuinely don't know if I'm overreacting. My roommate Jess and I have lived together for 2 years and it's mostly been fine. Last week I left my car keys on the kitchen counter because I was running late for a work trip. I told her specifically, out loud, don't touch my car. I have a return sticker on the tag that's about to expire and I need to renew it before I drive it again. She said okay. I get back 3 days later and my car isn't in the driveway. I text her, she doesn't answer for 6 hours. When she finally calls me back, she's laughing, like actually giggling, and tells me she used my car to pick her ex-boyfriend up from the airport because he flew in for a surprise visit and her car was in the shop. On the way back, she got pulled over. Expired tags. Because obviously I never got the chance to renew it since I was traveling. The car got impounded because on top of the expired registration, there was also an outstanding parking violation attached to the plate from before I owned the car, and she didn't have the paperwork to prove she wasn't the owner. Now I owe impound fees, a fine, and I need to take a day off work I can't afford to take off just to sort this out. When I told her I was furious, she said, it's just a car. Calm down. Nothing happened to you. I said something happened to me. I'm paying for it right now. She said if I was that attached to a car I should get better locks on my keys. I'm at a loss. Do I just eat this cost, or is there something else I should be doing here? This is such a clean case of somebody violating a boundary that was stated in plain English and then acting like the person upset about it is being unreasonable. She didn't ask. She didn't even tell him before he found out on his own that the car was gone for days. The airport pickup for an ex is honestly a separate conversation they probably need to have. But even setting that aside, you don't take someone's car after being told not to and then get annoyed that they're mad about the bill. I think this poster needs to have a very direct conversation about whether this living situation is even sustainable, and honestly, I'd be asking for that money back in writing, not just verbally. So, this got a lot of comments, and it seems like a lot of people agreed because he came back a couple weeks later with an update, so let's go ahead and read that. Quick update since a few people asked. I sent her an itemized list of everything I paid, impound fee, the fine, and the half day of pay I lost. She initially refused, said she wasn't going to be guilt-tripped. I told her that was fine, but I was subtracting it from the internet bill until it was paid off since we split that evenly. She was furious about that, but weirdly that's what got her to actually pay me back, in full, within the week. We're still roommates because the lease doesn't end for 4 more months, but it's frosty. She's since started leaving her own spare key with her boyfriend in case of emergencies. So I've started keeping my keys with me at all times now instead of on the counter. Lesson learned the expensive way. I'm glad this one actually worked out for him in the end. It's kind of funny that the thing that got her to pay him back wasn't the guilt trip. It was hitting her wallet directly through the shared bill. I think that's just how some people are wired. They don't respond to being told they hurt you, they respond to consequences. It sucks that he has to live with her for 4 more months in an awkward situation, but at least he got his money back and set a boundary that actually stuck this time. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story here. My brother proposed at my engagement party and everyone is mad at me for being upset. This poster is a 29-year-old female. Her brother is 32. Okay. She writes, I got engaged in March and my parents threw a small party to celebrate. Maybe 30 people, mostly family. My younger brother has been dating his girlfriend for about 8 months. Nice girl, I like her. This isn't about her. Halfway through my party, while my fiancé and I were doing the whole toast thing, my brother stands up, taps his glass, and says he has an announcement of his own. He gets down on one knee in the middle of my engagement party and proposes to his girlfriend. Everyone loses it, cheering, crying, the whole thing. My own engagement toast got cut off mid-sentence and nobody noticed because they were all looking at him. I didn't say anything at the party because I didn't want to be the one who ruined the mood, but I was hurt. This was supposed to be my one dedicated celebration, and it became a footnote in my brother's proposal story. When I brought it up to my mom the next day, she told me I was being selfish and that I should be happy for my brother, that there's room for more than one happy thing to happen in a day. My brother said he didn't realize it would be a big deal and that I'm making it about me by being upset at my own engagement party, about something that happened at my own engagement party. Am I wrong for feeling like this was a pretty inconsiderate thing to do? No, you are not wrong, and I don't think this is even a close call. There is an unwritten rule that you do not stage a proposal at someone else's dedicated event. Full stop. It doesn't matter how happy everyone is for him. He took a moment that was supposed to belong to his sister and made it his. If he wanted to propose that weekend, he had the entire rest of the weekend to do it privately, or even just wait one more day. The fact that her mom is calling her selfish for being upset that her own party got hijacked is honestly the more frustrating part of this story to me. There's an update to this one too, so let's read that here. So this got more attention than I expected. Short version. I ended up telling my brother directly, one-on-one, that what bothered me wasn't that he proposed. It was that he chose to do it in the middle of my toast, at my party, without even a heads up. He got defensive at first, but a few days later he actually apologized. Said his girlfriend had pointed out to him privately that it probably did come across badly and he hadn't thought about it that way in the moment. My mom still thinks I overreacted, but she stopped bringing it up. My brother and his fiancée took us out to dinner as a sort of apology, and honestly, things feel normal again. Not everyone agreed I was in the right last time, but talking to him directly instead of stewing on it was definitely the move. I'm really glad this one got resolved with an actual conversation instead of just letting the resentment build up. It sounds like the girlfriend actually helped smooth this over, which says a lot about her honestly, that she was willing to tell her own fiancé he messed up. Sometimes it just takes hearing it from the right person for it to click. Glad they got to have a nice dinner and move past it. Let's move on to the next one here. My coworker keeps reply all ing to correct my grammar in front of the whole department. Poster is 31, male. He writes, I have a coworker, we'll call him Dave, who has taken it upon himself to be the department's unofficial grammar police, except he only ever does it to me, and he only ever does it in front of everyone by hitting reply all instead of just messaging me privately. Last week I sent an update email to about 15 people on my team with a typo. I wrote we should have instead of we should have, a mistake, sure, but a minor one. Within 10 minutes Dave replies all with, small note, it should have, not should have, smiley face. 2 weeks before that he did the same thing over a misplaced apostrophe. Before that it was effect versus effect. I finally asked him privately why he doesn't just message me if he's going to point these things out, and he said, and I quote, I think it's helpful for everyone to see the correction so they don't pick up the same habit. I pointed out that nobody else does this to anyone, ever, for any typo, and he said he holds himself to a higher standard and thinks others should too. My manager hasn't said anything about it, but I can tell some of my other coworkers think it's kind of funny/cringe, which is somehow worse. Am I wrong to be annoyed by this? Or should I just let it go since it's technically not wrong information? You are extremely not overreacting. Being factually correct about a typo doesn't make the delivery okay. The reply all part is what makes this a public correction instead of a helpful note, and that's a choice he is actively making every single time. If he genuinely thought this was about helping the team, he'd message him directly, because the team doesn't need to see the correction to benefit from it, only he does. This reads much more like someone who enjoys the moment where everyone sees him be right and someone else be wrong. I'd bring this to a manager, not because it's a huge offense, but because please correct people privately instead of embarrassing them in a reply all is a completely reasonable thing to ask a manager to enforce. And it looks like that's exactly what he did, because there's an update. Update for the people asking, I did end up mentioning it to my manager, framed it as, hey, is there a general policy on reply all etiquette, rather than making it a whole complaint about Dave specifically. My manager apparently sent a broader email to the team about keeping minor feedback in direct messages going forward. No names mentioned. Dave has not corrected my grammar publicly since, though I did notice he sent me one grammar correction via private message last week. Which, fine, I'll take it. Not a perfect resolution, but a lot better than before. Honestly, a really smart way to handle it. He didn't throw Dave under the bus by name, he just got the actual problem fixed at the policy level, and it worked. Sometimes you don't need drama, you just need the right person to set a boundary for the whole group. That's it for today, but if you watch this to the end, subscribe so I get a little hit of dopamine. Alright, I'll see you next time.